What if the healing you've been searching for has been hiding in the weird? Taking the Weird Out of Woo is a new series that's on a mission to normalize non-traditional therapies and explore healing beyond the mainstream, one episode at a time. Each week, we bring together 3 powerful elements: a skeptic who's open but unsure, an expert who's lived and studied the method, and a real experience that just might change everything. From sound healing to breathwork, energy medicine, and beyond, we're diving into the woo with curiosity, compassion, and a willingness to ask, could this actually help? This isn't just entertainment, it's an invitation to feel, to heal, and to explore what's possible when nothing else has worked. Welcome to Taking the Weird Out of Woo. Let's heal together. So you may have heard the big buzz about this thing called ketamine. Ketamine is really taking the therapeutic world by storm, as so many doctors, practitioners, therapeutic and counseling offices are recognizing the power that this special molecule component can have in helping us to feel better, to have less anxiety, less depression, turn off suicidal ideation. It is being recognized by the medical community as one of the things that can really amplify our healing. However, what I recently got to understand was this is an incredible opportunity or window of opportunity when we are on this molecule to start working with the neuroplasticity in our mind, which means that we can rewire the wiring, right? And yet, most of the time you are hearing people just hooked up to an IV, laying on a couch or sitting on a chair. And this window of opportunity is passing by rather than being an opportunity for them to truly be able to perhaps move trauma from the past, perhaps rewire some wiring so that the anxiety is not just softened in the moment, but long-term. Enter into the picture Miss Jennie, owner and founder of the Mend Counseling Center. She's going to explain to us why somatic therapies, why working with the body and working with the mind and understanding what happens with this molecule actually amplifies the experience and can radically transform an individual over a series of sessions where they do start to feel long-term impacts of less anxiety, less depression, greater sense of well-being, perhaps even sleeping better at night, and just overall having a better quality of life. So come with me and we're going to check this out.
So when we're in it, right, everyone can kind of get a sense of what we're doing. So, and this is why I think the beautiful collaboration with medical providers is so important, and people that understand the sacredness of these molecules and saying, hey, yes, I absolutely, because I'm not a prescriber. And so I need to stay in my lane as a mental health professional who can hold space for somatic therapy, right, and really good trauma work, and also hold space for somebody who is on ketamine. I'm well versed in that. But I have to have a provider, right, with a prescription, right? Because Trevor's not getting a shot, which you would do in a medical office, or an infusion, which you would do with a medical provider. Those are the people that have the reins to do that, right? The medical ability to hold that space. So he's going to take a troche where the medicine's embedded in that. It's like sucking on a wax, something that wax where the ketamine is suspended. Okay, and so I have beautiful collaborations with medical providers, so I just want to make sure that that's clear, and that, like, I think there's a lot of people in the medical field that are willing to collaborate and go, hey, let's do ketamine holistically, and let's hold really beautiful space. And I would love to educate or kind of augment medical offices to include more somatics, because I believe they're a huge fundamental piece of making use of these molecules, especially ketamine, right, with the neuroplasticity. Because someone doesn't have to talk about stuff for you to move stuff off the body, and that's where somatics come in. So I always, while they're getting into the medicine, so Trevor will take the ketamine, and as he's sitting on my couch, I'll burn Palo Santo wood, Palo Santo is my favorite because, and this is why this is important. It's our senses, right? Our sense of taste, our sense of touch, our sense of smell, our sense of what we feel. Through the senses is how we can excite the nervous system or we can decompress it. So when we use smells, when we use the sound vibrations that are going to be from the sound table, sound therapy, it helps decompress the nervous system and create safety. We anchor the body in safety. So when I burn the Palo Santo wood around Trevor as he's getting into the medicine, and ketamine's pretty quick, he'll probably feel within 5 to 10 minutes, we're setting intention. As I connect to the medicine of ketamine, what do I need? What can I connect to and heal and repair? What do I need to know and understand? Because sometimes we're awakening and opening up consciousness with that neuroplasticity, and sometimes we're mining and healing and repairing, right? Or are we finding some splinters in the system that we can work on, right? And so as he's getting the medicine, we're setting the tone and getting him to safety. As I connect to the medicine of ketamine, I ask that I unbind fear, worry, concern as I connect to my gifts and talents, being able to trust that those will guide me and direct me in life. Connecting to the medicine of ketamine to help me safely journey as I traverse those inner spaces, trusting that I'm in a safe place, I'm with a safe person, and it's safe to journey. And Jen will keep my body safe. It's safe to connect to the medicine of ketamine. And just take 3 deep breaths. And just using that breath as a broom to start sloughing off any and all emotional debris, grounding yourself into this experience, letting the medicine connect, and just continuing to send that message to your brain. I'm in a safe place, I'm with a safe person, and it's safe to journey. And anchoring the body in safety. And just keep that breath going throughout the whole session, just remembering that that breath moves that energy, that emotional debris and that somatic debris out of the body. As you breathe out, I want you to see it leaving your body like you're breathing out smoke or however your brain wants to see it. I might allow my nervous system to heal and repair at this time, just sending that message to your brain, and giving it rest and respite from all of that anxious energy. Giving it a moment, some time to have a break, and letting it heal and repair when and where it can while we connect to the ketamine. You might allow whatever needs to come up and out to do so, whatever needs to be released. Good job breathing. Whatever needs to be processed, unshackling, unbinding, and moving. Connecting to only that which is of my highest good, releasing and deleting any and old files connected to anything that no longer serves me, down to the very cells of my body, releasing it from my very DNA.
So ketamine is a psychedelic, and with that comes a lot of negative connotations. But what they realized in the study of how ketamine works, that it works really, really well with PTSD, depression, anxiety, and actually just in everyday life. If you imagine you're in a car accident at this intersection, and now every time you go to that intersection, you visualize that car accident, you have an emotional response to it. Your heart's beating, you're sweaty, you're deep breathing, you see everything that happens every single time you go to that intersection. What ketamine does is it allows your logical brain to separate from your emotional and your gut brain so that your body no longer has that reaction. So you can actually go to that intersection now and say, I once was in a car accident, and you would have to have all of those emotions attached to it. So when you're doing ketamine in a therapy situation, it's allowing that logical brain to find logic where it needs to, even though you're in space and you're enjoying the colors and the movements and the geometry and everything else. your brain is allowing an ability to find logic in something and separating an emotional attachment. So it helps you heal in a better way because you're no longer having those emotional feelings.
Somatic therapies, I mean, soma is body. So what happens is that when a person has challenges in their life, it's that there has to do with incongruency again, something they've experienced that has to do with a shock to their body, and it can be from an experience that is trauma, or it can be an experience that has to do with a trauma. So as we go through that, then it's like, where did it stick? Typically what happens is if there is a trauma or drama, it's going to go into the body of wherever there was some sort of a, let's say a force, and it impacts an area, and it makes it so that there's a level of memory. The memory basically is tied into that didn't feel good, I have an interpretation that's emotional, and there's a response from the neurology that basically says we need to make sure we protect ourselves from being able to, let's say, have this happen again, so we're going to remember everything about it, and it's called T-1. So it's like trauma minus 1 second, and it basically is your brain determines what was happening 1 second before the trauma, and it records the association of sound, temperature, any input that you have with your skin in any way, shape, or form, the body, how it was in the process of having that, with how gravity was, are you sitting, standing, running, whatever it was that was preceding that, your brain remembers and then it imprints with that trauma. So in order to make it so that we have the most efficient release of that is if we can reproduce all of those, as many as possible, the stimulus, especially with the gravity or weight bearing, and then make it so that people can actually go back to how did you feel right before and then right at the trauma, so that we can kind of rekindle a remembrance of like what was it that your brain was thinking would be safe and then it wasn't, because those two associations make it so that then there's a revisitation of too much of a reaction. It's like a hyper response that makes it so that we spin into lock this down and make it so that we have an inappropriate response that is going to be stuck in a cycle, and it's a pattern that we see. And visually in their mind of what it looked like before, and then they can actually give themselves permission to release and then engage with the brand new pattern. That's when it's easiest to make it so there's a shift so that we don't hold on to the old and we can release and move forward in life.
And so I called my brothers right afterwards and I was like, are you guys doing the same thing I am? Where you're still stuck in this loop of trying to do everything you can for free for everybody to like almost just prove your value. And anyway, but that's a long way of saying like that's been a process for me, but I am working on it, is being like, okay, accepting from other people without immediately being like, no, that, without feeling so uncomfortable. And return, not just giving, but also accepting.
That speaks to how like entrenched that programming can be and the unbinding, right? And that's what really good therapy ought to help somebody do, is unbind, unwind, right? The somatic therapies ought to slough off also where that's in the very cells of our body, right? And then the increase in neuroplasticity helps construct new neural pathways that go, what supports my most highest good today? That way of thinking, right, and that way of of doing it isn't like helpful to you, right? It'd be nice to have the $100 versus decline it, right? It'd be nice to have the $20 versus decline it, and so you're going, hey, I want to wire now around something that doesn't feel selfish, but feels good in regards to like what's connected to my highest good and also connected to my gifts and talents.
Yeah.
So that's the beautiful thing about the ketamine experience, and I'm so grateful that you were willing to try it and put yourself in new but safe hands, and trust that even the connection, you've known me for a bit, but not like years and years.
Mm-hmm.
The therapeutic rapport could be built in a way that could go, hey, I can at least try this experience.
Yeah.
And give you a chance, Trevor, to look at like, hey, there's a pathway to do some more deep unbinding and heal my nervous system and really get to a place where my sense of safety in the world, I can believe like I wasn't safe then, but I am safe today. And you're not just your mind, your whole body can believe it, right?
Mm-hmm.
The mental body, the emotional body, and the physical body can go, no, we believe that today.
Yeah, I was gonna mention, even like as far as the treatment was going,
Mm-hmm.
I do feel like, I remember thinking multiple times during it, because you're talking about, trusting you, and I did and I do, but even during the treatment, I remember thinking like, if I didn't, then I wouldn't answer this, or I wouldn't, you know what I mean? And so it was interesting, because there's so much, I think it is so important to trust who's doing it, and I don't think, I mean, I've mentioned before that I've gone into so many of those type situations where I'm almost forced into it, where someone's trying to read my energy and stuff when I haven't welcomed it.
Yeah.
Or do therapy, and they've said a lot of similar things,
Mm-hmm.
and I instantly go like, nope. I'm like, you don't know me. I don't. It's almost like in my head I chalk it up to, like I've mentioned like a swindler's trick where they go like, oh, and they say these things,
Mm-hmm.
but like a lot of the stuff you're saying, I was like, oh, like I believe you, and I was like, oh, and it's because I do trust you.
And so talk to me about your 8-part series that they can do at home along with the Theragun.
Yeah, so the champion of that 8-part series would be the percussion tool and the Theragun, which is proprietary for their soft attachment. You can take a percussion tool in the world of athletes, for example, or sports, and it's going to percuss and break down tension in the fascia, in the muscles. It's going to help with recovery, right? But you put that soft attachment on, and it's going to make it a somatic tool. You can put it into the joints, you can put it into the heart space, you can use it on the head. It's just, it takes something that you would have to otherwise use so carefully on the body to just better, broader application. And then you create a somatic release. You're going, I'm having almost a panic attack right now. Grab the Theragun and you're breathing through and you're using it on the body. It's such it's such a good home tool. Like, I can't tell you how many people I've said, grab this Theragun, grab the soft attachment, use it on your kids, use it on yourself. Even look at depression. Depression's like sitting and marred in the tar. If you can get the body to move, so get the Theragun out, start using it on yourself, get your body to move, you're gonna move out of the tar much more easily. It's such a unused tool for the vast, I think, application of it. It's not just for the sports world, right? It's not just for recovery because your muscles are sore. With that soft attachment, it now becomes this huge universal tool to create equilibrium, right? To reclaim safety in the body and to reclaim that equilibrium. The other tool that I would use and encourage anyone to get, that I'll have an affiliate link to, is a vibe plate, a vibration plate. They're the ones you stand on and they kind of just wiggle your body. And that's another way to help create a release of that tension, right? That survival energy that needs to go somewhere, whether you're anxious or depressed, you have trauma, and then you can reclaim that equilibrium. Those are easy home tools to connect to and get and have in the home. I can't tell you, my clients have grabbed a vibe plate and it's made massive help on their, like kids that have anxiety or people that have depression that can't even get out of bed. Will get on the vibe plate for 2 minutes.
So I have to tell you about a really cool thing that you may not know about. It is called Yin on Fire, and it's a healing arts festival down in southern Utah, right next to Zion National Park. Let me tell you why this is so cool. All of these episodes are showcasing a non-traditional therapy or a non-traditional way of healing. What if you could actually go to a 4-day, 3-night event and have like this buffet of offerings that you could try out all sorts of different non-traditional therapies, go learn from experts, and be surrounded by an incredible community. And then at night, have incredible shows where you dance the night away. That's what Yin on Fire is all about, and you should go check it out.